Welcome to the Dawg podcast. I'm your host, Matt DeBris. Before the Northeastern game, I asked the question, what will we learn about the Syracuse team in this game tonight, meaning against Northeastern? Syracuse took care of business, 76-48. Girard led the way with 21 points, then it was Edwards with 19, then it was Mintz with 18. It's pretty much, I don't say it's been consistent because Girard was not that good against Colgate, but it's kind of obvious those are the three guys that are going to be scoring a lot, right? But as far as defense goes, what did Syracuse revert back to? The zone defense. Surprise, surprise. Why? Because Syracuse man-to-man just not looked that great in their exhibition games and these three regular season games. They kind of been getting beat a lot. So Boeheim even said that after the game is that, with a short turnaround and playing a team like Richmond who plays a Princeton-style offense, which means they cut and move a lot. So we're going to be playing zone translation because I teach the zone better, our zone's better, and our man-to-man cannot hang with Richmond's moving offense. So look for the zone, which makes people like Jesse Edwards, Girard, Torrance, and Benny Williams that much more important because they know the zone better than anybody else on that team. Yes, these guys that have come in have been working on it, and Judah Mintz seems to be going to be playing a ton, so he's got to be in there, right? Edwards and Girard have been there for 4 years, so they know the zone the best. Torrance and Benny Williams, their second season, so they have more time than the rest of the guys. This is a prime opportunity again for Benny Williams, I think, to step up. And I bring him up because I just know he has it in him, but it seems like fans are getting impatient with him. It seems like Jim Boeheim's getting impatient with him, which is bad. You don't want Jim Boeheim impatient with you. In the game last night, Saturday night, he got a technical foul because he pushed a guy. He had a little fire. Reporter asked Jim Boeheim after the game, Benny Williams played with some emotion or fire or something like that. And Boeheim said, I didn't see that out of him. And so, the gauntlet has been thrown down. It's pretty much saying, Benny, you got to step up for us. And, offensively, I'm not too worried about him offensively, but on defense, if they're going to be playing his own defense, he's got to be active and active hands, deflections, defensive rebounds. In the exhibition game, the first one, he was great. Obviously, it was against the Division II team. Those guys were not bad, but got to do it in the games that count more. So this game against Richmond is important for many other levels, but for Benny Williams, this tournament could be it. If he doesn't play well in this tournament, the starting lineup could change, and it might change anyways. And, as my buddy Steve Platt always says, doesn't matter who starts. Well, it matters for Benny Williams because it's confidence. So, okay, Steve, there you go. Besides Benny, are we going to see more of Copeland? We're going to see more of Brown, guys that I've said before are energy guys. And in the zone defense, you need energy guys. You need deflections. I think Copeland playing at the top of the zone could be a good move at times because he's got active hands and he can play 1, 2, or 3. Haven't really seen that too much. Not yet, but this is another chance for a freshman also to step up or another guy off the bench to step up because me playing a game Saturday, a one-day turnaround, it's not that far of a road trip from New York City, from Syracuse on a charter jet, but then a Monday and a Tuesday game. So you're going to be playing a bunch. So who else is going to step up off the bench? Who will play a role in that zone defense? Again, we'll find out more. But this tournament just became more important because the Colgate loss. Why do I say that? Well, Colgate lost to Buffalo and they just lost to Duquesne. Now, it doesn't really matter for Colgate, their non-conference schedule and who they lose to because they make the NCAA tournament when they win their conference tournament. The Patriot League is not getting a lot of at-large berths. Teams that don't win their conference tournament or win their conference, right? Syracuse is mostly an at-large team. They haven't won a conference tournament in a long time, not in the ACC. So to win the ACC tournament would take a lot, so we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, right? But what it matters for Syracuse when Colgate loses teams like Buffalo and Duquesne is that the NCAA tournament uses a thing called net rank. It's pretty much is your win percentage, your opponent's win percentage, and your opponent's win percentage. So For Colgate, that doesn't matter. For Syracuse, it matters, because if Colgate's net ranking keeps going down, then Syracuse would go down further. And you don't want that. So now Syracuse is going to play Richmond, and the winner or loser, depending on how Syracuse does, of St. John's and Temple. And St. John's and Temple playing major conferences. Richmond's in the A10. I wouldn't say they're the most quality opponents, but if you go 0-2 in this tournament, they're behind the 8 ball, just like they were last year when they finished the Battle for Atlantis tournament. And not a lot of opportunities to win, on a neutral floor against a better opponent. Syracuse has Illinois coming up. They have Georgetown. In the ACC. It's a gauntlet. We all know what's been happening to Syracuse in the ACC, and it's been tough. So, when you play teams like Richmond, you got to get that win. You've heard me talk about this before, but I'm bringing it up again. The series history is 3-1. Syracuse leads. The one game was in the 1991 NCAA tournament when Syracuse was the number 2 seed. Richmond was the number 15 seed, and Richmond was the first ever 15 seed to be a 2 seed. So every time I see them on a schedule or I see them anywhere and they score, I'm always rooting against I'm always rooting for the teams playing Richmond, because I just hate that team. I mean, it gave me such bad memories. I was in middle school, I think, and we were doing probability, and everyone had Syracuse going a long way because the team was sick with Billy Owens. So I know it's not really a revenge game, because anyone that was born in 1991 is in their 30s at this point. So it doesn't totally matter. It matters to Syracuse fans. I'm not sure if it matters to Jim Boeheim anymore. I've played so many games and done so many things since then. But regardless, the game in front of you is the most important. Get that win. Let's play St. John's or Temple in the championship. Let's get Syracuse rocking in New York City. I think that'll energize the team. And going forward, who knows what will happen. But I'm looking for guys to step up, especially Benny. I'm looking for my 2 guys off the bench. It's Copeland and Brown. So I want to see those guys in there and doing some damage. So that's all I got for the Dome Dog podcast tonight. I know it's Thanksgiving week. There's so much going on with NFL, the World Cup during Thanksgiving. Are you watching? These college basketball tournaments really start to kick in. So what will Syracuse do? Come out of this 0-2, 1-1, or 2-0? Thanks for checking out the Dome Dog podcast. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter if it still exists. You can check me out on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Go to domedogpodcast.com to check out more interviews and past pods. YouTube has plenty of things on there as well. Please check those out. In the Facebook group, it's facebook.com/groups/domedogpod. That's DOMEDAWGPOD. What will Syracuse do coming up? Let's get it going.